Princess Muna of Jordan has lived a life filled with both incredible triumphs and personal struggles, but her most recent revelations about her marriage to the late King Hussein have captured the world's attention. For decades, she has remained relatively quiet about her personal life, staying mostly in the shadows of the royal spotlight. Yet at the grand wedding of her granddaughter, Princess Iman, to Venezuelan investment banker Jam Alexander Therus in March, 82-year-old Princess Muna's presence once again made headlines. Seated in the front row in a lilac gown, Princess Muna exuded the grace and elegance that she's been known for throughout her life. Though she prefers to stay out of the limelight, her history with King Hussein, their marriage, and their eventual divorce have remained topics of public intrigue. Princess Muna's life has been full of twists and turns, starting from her childhood in England to her rise as the wife of one of the most famous and controversial monarchs in the Middle East. Born Antoinette Tony Gardner on April 25, 1941 in Chelmondiston, Suffolk, England, she grew up in a modest, adventurous family. Her father, Walter Gardner, was a respected army officer, which led the family to travel extensively, including a stint in Malaysia. After the British left Malaysia, Princess Muna found herself moving with her family once more. It was during this time that she entered the workforce as a secretary, with little idea of how dramatically her life was about to change. In the early 1960s, Princess Muna's father was stationed in Jordan as a military advisor, and she moved with him. Taking a job as a secretary at Jordan Radio, her life took a turn when she was hired as a secretary on the set of Lawrence of Arabia, a film that would later become a global sensation. It was there that she met the man who would become her husband, King Hussein of Jordan. Their first encounter came on the set when King Hussein visited the production, as he allowed his soldiers to work as extras. Their second meeting, at a costume party, became legendary when Muna playfully told the king, dressed as a pirate, that he looked rather scruffy. That moment left an impression on King Hussein, who later admitted in a letter that it was the first time in his life a woman had seen him as a person, not just as a king. Their love story quickly blossomed, but it was far from simple. Muna, a British woman, was not just marrying a king. She was marrying into a deeply conservative monarchy with cultural and religious barriers that seemed insurmountable. Hussein was Muslim, while Muna was Christian. Despite their differences, the bond between them deepened, and they found ways to make it work. Hussein's first marriage, an arranged union with his Egyptian-born cousin Dina bint Abdul Hamid, had ended in divorce after just 1 year. Despite this, Hussein was determined that his next marriage would be based on love. However, King Hussein's decision to marry Muna was met with resistance from both his family and the Jordanian people. Queen Zayn, the king's mother, and many others in the royal court disapproved of the marriage. The monarchy had long been resistant to the idea of a foreign-born woman marrying the king, particularly a British commoner who was not Muslim. Tensions rose within the royal family, and some feared that the marriage could destabilize Hussein's position as king. In fact, some advisors even suggested that his reign could be in jeopardy. Despite the opposition, King Hussein stood firm in his decision to marry Muna. However, the marriage came with conditions. To ease the growing unrest in Jordan, it was agreed that Muna would never officially be named queen. Instead, she would be given the title of Princess Muna, a name that symbolized Hussein's wish, but without the royal rank. It was a compromise that allowed the marriage to take place, but it also meant that Muna would never have the full recognition or authority that a queen would hold. Their wedding took place in 1961 in a quiet ceremony at the modest palace of Queen Zayn. Hussein wore his military uniform, while Muna chose a simple yet elegant white dress in the European style. The people of Jordan celebrated the event, and the couple drove through the streets of Amman, where they were greeted by cheers from the crowd. The marriage marked a shift in the royal family's practices, with Muna's European-style wedding gown setting the stage for future royal weddings in Jordan. Though Hussein and Muna's marriage faced many obstacles, they went on to have 4 children together. Their eldest son, Abdullah II, would go on to become the King of Jordan. The couple's life together was filled with both joy and challenges. They raised their children with European influences, and Muna played a key role in their upbringing. ensuring that they received the best education and experiences. For a time,